BobalosRex here, and I don't want this to be a long video, so I'm not gonna harp too much on the history uh, of the Night Elves, but this video is gonna be about the Night Elves and what's next for them. And I'm gonna try to make this a series where I talk about what I think what's next for all the races of WoW, all the playable races, and what they're gonna do next over the World Soul Saga. But I do want to start with some of the history of each. So, the Night Elves, one of the oldest races in Azeroth. We all know it. Not the oldest. They do come from the Trolls. They are... I got many theories on what's up with the Well of Eternity. Alright? But they're either Titan influenced, Titan / Elune infused trolls, but they're trolls. They had some stuff that had their water tampered with. All right, in a way, okay. Or, well, it would have been trolls that found the Well of Eternity and drank the water without knowing what's up with it. Let's just say that. All right. It did power them up. You know, we got Night Elf mages. They went on to summon the Legion and then stop the Legion with the Night Elf druids, who were trained by Cenarius, who also trained the Tauren. Because the Tauren are an old race too, who would have been Yongle at the time. They beat the demons, banished the mages. Malfurion, I mentioned, he had a brother, Illidan. He made a second well. They grew a tree on it. That tree is Nordrassil. Alright. Up here in Mount Hyjal. Apparently, I haven't discovered all the areas on this tune. Alright. But they started planting more trees. And then... So they started planting more trees, they isolated themselves, and then we get into World of Warcraft, where they're kind of just chilling. They fought the Legion again in Warcraft 3. Alright. But the Night Elves have pretty much, the new Night Elves, the Mageless Night Elves, pretty much had all of Northern Kalimdor under control. They had a war with the Silithid. They banished the Blood Elves. I'll talk about that then. There was an offshoot on the Broken Isles, and there's some more mages here. We get to the Cataclysm. The mages of Eldrith Thalas and Fairless rejoin Night Elf Society. You know, Tyrande been around the whole time. She helped beat the Legion in the first place. You know. Then we have BFA. Teldrassil's burned. That was the Night Elf. That was the big Night Elf capital. They pretty much had cities all over the place up here, but that was the big deal. All right. So BFA happens. We get to Shadowlands. We go through Shadowlands. We end up with the seed to grow a new home. So what have the Night Elves been doing throughout Dragonflight? Protecting the seed to help get them a new home, and I'm sitting in that new home, Belameth. Alright? So this is where we are at. Alright? I missed a lot of stuff. Alright? Well, hold on. There's still some more stuff. So the Night Elves have kind of been powering up. During Dragonflight, Tyrande Malfurion decide to retire, and Chandris is the leader now. I missed a lot. Okay, if you want to watch a Night Elf lore history video, please go watch all the tons of other ones that are out there that are better than me recapping the history. You know, that is not what I do here. But this is where we're at. Night Elves have a new capital. The old guard has retired. So what is next for the Night Elves? That is what I want to talk about. This is what I want to add. Okay? And I think Blizzard can do a lot more world building with the Night Elves by not doing anything with them. But he by not doing anything, I mean having them be a major part of the story, because they have been a major part of the story the last few expansions. So, what do we do next? Well, I think during midnight, Chandris, now representing the Night Elves, and the leaders of the other scattered elf tribes are going to reconcile. The Night Elves are going to reconcile with the Blood Elves. You know, that would be something we really want to see. I really want to see it, actually. I want to see a reconciliation with the Night Elves, the Blood Elves, the Nightborn. You know, a reconciling between the Blood Elves and the Void Elves. So, I have a feeling in Midnight we're going to get some reconcilement, okay? But what else do I want to see? Well, during the War Within, I want to see Belemeth growing. And here's the cool thing. Think about this. So we know that Dragonflight is going to become the new main questing experience for new players. How cool is it that new Night Elves now, alright, are going to be able to have their capital in the main questing area where they start? No other race other than Drakthir, I guess, have like a capital right near the main questing zone. So I think this is great. I think Belemeth as a capital for the Night Elves is good. I want to see it be built up and grow during the War Within. Just adding little things. You know, I would love to see them starting to add little things. The cities, I've talked about that. Growing cities, it's a good way to show your world growing and building. It's good world building. Alright. Now what else? I recently did the Heritage Armor. So now we got male Night Elf Sentinels. Alright. So we have male Night Elf Sentinels. And I got a mail from Tyrande on this character who says, Maiev may have a point. So I'm wondering, are we going to see male priests of Elune? And then that got me thinking about the Paladin stuff. We know Blizzard wants to give us Paladins for all. And I know Night Elf players don't just want their Paladins to be Silver Hand. You know, most Paladins are Silver Hand. The new group is pretty much Silver Hand. Now, unless we get class skins, the only way I see Night Elf players being able to reflect a Paladin of Elune is through transmog in a cool Night Elf racial Paladin mount. Alright? Now, hopefully we can get some class skins to maybe change spell effects, which Blizzard seems reluctant on. But I do believe Night Elf should be able to be a Paladin in a way. And hopefully we can get some cool armor and a cool mount to reflect that. And maybe some cool lore to show that at least the Night Elf Paladin trainers have a uniqueness to them. You know, Priests of Elune. You have the male Sentinels. Maybe the Sentinels and the Priests combine and we get a cool new Paladin Knights of Elune order, at least in the lore. When we get Night Elf Paladins, I want to see that. And we know that Tyrande has talked about returning to Teldrassil, the Ashen Shores, when life breathes anew, something like that. She said some life anew, the Ashen Shores renew. So, from the ashes, things grow. We've seen that in storytelling. We see that in real life. Forest fire breaks out, the ash is there, but the forest will regrow. The tree will regrow. How long did it take Nordrassil to grow? Let's count it. Warcraft 3 it burned, 4 years, couple extra years in Kata, it was fully back for the most part. Alright? So, by the end of the Titan Soul saga, depending on how many years it takes, because remember it's been It was ashed about 7-ish years ago, 6, 7 in the lore. So if there was a little seed, you see a little the ash, and then you have the little sprout pop up like I'm growing. So that would be cool when we get that. That could be a couple of years away. But I would love to see that, and it's been hinted at. So I think we will see that if they can start building up the world. We get some of these small revamps. We've seen it with Belameth in a way, and I want to see it more so. That would be a good thing to do. One last thing I want to see is in the Last Titan. I want Illidan, Malfurion to be bros. Okay, I want them to be real brothers. They've been fighting. I guess the Illidan message to Malfurion was kind of like, damn. Maybe I was too harsh. I want to see that pay off. They're retired. When Illidan comes back, I want him to retire and talk to his brother like, why are we always fussing? I want to see Illidan over to Rhonda and maybe chill out with Maiev when he gets back. Maybe they squash their beef because we now see Maiev as a main part. She hung out with Illidan during Legion. She is clearly not killing mages anymore during that episode she had. Again, I didn't mention it earlier, but I'm not going into all the history. But I do want to see many people ship Illidan Maiev. Alright? I'm not the only one. Anyways, those two could fit together. Maiev has her Warden army. Illidan has the Demon Hunters. They're both warriors. You can see them build up. But yeah, that's basically it. I think I got everything I wanted to get out. But that's what I want to see for what's next for the Night Elves. Just them as a unit, chilling, rebuilding, and any advances in the story, I want to be little side things. More about the world, more about their cities being built up. Like I said with the Paladin. And then the reconcilement. I want to see Chandris do some stuff as a leader. When here's the thing. As a people, I want them relaxing. We see them rebuilding in other spots. Ashenvale, Val Shara, Nordrassil. I do want to see that reflective when we can. But as far as Chandris, I do want to see her perspective when we have big events. Say there's some big event going on in the War Within, you use Chandris, the new leader, and you have her represent maybe some of the feelings and comment on stuff to give us that Night Elf perspective. But as a whole, I want the Night Elves to be focused on rebuilding. I want to see these cities built up. And maybe we'll get Heritage Armor Part 2s for more races and give us some more unique Night Elf transmog. And if we get the Night Elf Paladins, I want to see them get some... I want to see that cool unique Tiger mount. And I want to see at least the trainers reference Knights of Elune. And I do want to see this male Sentinel, maybe male Priests of Elune stuff be put into the lore, because I think that's cool that they're integrating more. We've seen women druids, so druids have never been... You used to have this, like, druid, the male druids, and then the female huntresses. They kind of had that dichotomy, but I do want to see it integrated, personally. But we've seen druids already integrated for the most part. But now to see it for the rest, I think is cool. Anyways, that's it. That's enough ranting. Let me know what you want to see for the Night Elves next. I'm not a Night Elf main. I don't pretend to speak for Night Elf mains. I could just speak for myself. But that's what I'd like to see next. You know? Thank you for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye-bye.